Y'all, I think Google is broken. I'm calling all my true patriots. Matter of fact, I think we need to assemble Black Talk too. Black TikTok, where you at? I got a feeling we gonna need some help with this one. So
Arguing anymore, okay?
You wanna argue? I can't argue with you. You mad? I can't argue with you. No. Look at you. Look at you. You mad? Look at you. You big mad. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I'm happy.
before I even get into it, I need you to get your thumbs ready to tag your favorite researcher, creator, or just anybody who you feel like needs to know this information. Cause why when I type in Black Native American tribes, the very first thing to pop up is African American. How can you be Native American from Africa? First, I'm thinking it's a glitch, right? Like, there's no way. But according to the Oklahoma Eagle, 98% of African Americans are in fact Native Indians. So I'm like, there has to be some proof of this. Why don't we see more pictures, like real proof that the quote-unquote African Americans were truly indigenous to the Americas? And then I wondered if maybe it hasn't been in our face the whole time. Because truth is, this story traces back way before waves of immigrants crossed the ocean blue, by the hundreds and thousands. It's no wonder that when they arrived, they indeed felt they had discovered a whole new world. See, the Olmecs are considered the first major Mesoamerican civilization and the mother of culture. Made their home in the Gulf. Olmecs. You gonna get into this. Now it says these people mysteriously disappeared, but prior to that, their civilization flourished from around 1200 to 400 BCE. These people invented the writing and the calendar, the mounds, pyramids, and statues, often attributed to the Mayans, since they are the influencers. I think I'm gonna need some help with this one.
Wanna argue? I can't argue with you. You mad? I can't argue with you. No. Look at you. Look at you. You mad? Look at you. You big mad. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I'm happy.
The history of the original recorded Aboriginal American phenotypes and culture. The true Aboriginal Americans, truth is stranger than legal fiction. Just to let y'all know, I will be reading from this book, Are Black Americans Aboriginals or Africans? The Law, the History, the Genetics Proof by the Arnold Department of Anthropology, and this book was authored by Dr. Amaru Ali. On the other side of the sea, on the American landmass, the history is just as intriguing. The Aboriginal American indigenous clans of the East and Southeast, often called mound builders, have a very rich tradition that's detailed later in his writing. The important point for this brief issue on status is that these Eastern and Southeastern types were all classified as black races of Aboriginals. Our research has proven such. It has also proven something we will detail much more later. That is, before the coming of white people from Europe, there were two distinct peoples on the American landmass. One was a black race who would be classified as Negro by white anthropologists, geneticists, and archaeologists. Our Aboriginal anthropologists, geneticists, and archaeologists would classify these folks as Aboriginals. The other class would be classified as Mongoloid, or a more proper term that is expounded upon later is Southeastern Asian Islanders or Austronesian. Of these two groups, the Aboriginal black populations are the true indigenous autochthones of the land. The epigraphical records, genetic tracing, and oral traditions prove this red race was a migrating and most often invading race. They learned the culture of the Aboriginal black inhabitants of the Americas and adopted much of it. Here are the two distinctions expressed from the JCB archives on Native Americans. On the left, we have the Mingwe Northerners, later called Iroquois, who resided what is now Canada in the Northeast. These two types were in a constant state of war. So here we go. Here's the picture right here. John Carter Brown Library, Early American Images. Top, deeply hued Aboriginals in area now known as Virginia, and the bottom, Mingwe Iroquois foreigners who are now misnamed Native Americans. These red men would later ally with the white man to attack and denationalize the true Aboriginal black inhabitants. We have given several detailed accounts of these divisions. Now, I know some people are going to be like, you black folks, you Negroes are not the original people. Y'all not indigenous, all kind of this and that. So I'm going to keep on reading. I'm going to read through this whole chapters to let y'all know what it is. Our eastern clans have been identified by our Aboriginal anthropologists as the direct descendants of the She, Olmec Mayan pyramids and mound builders. The same phenotypes, culture, calendars, and even language was synonymous. An example is the Great Powhatan Confederation of the area that is now called by the foreigners Virginia in North Carolina. According to white anthropologists, this name Powhatan is lost from being traced and its true meaning is unknown to them. That is, for them, we know exactly what this name means. Powhatan is actually the She Olmec Maya term Powhatan, his other name being Itz Amna, the ancient ancestor we credited with inventing writing for our people. Here is the ancient glyph for Powhatan, and there it is down there below. Now, there's a book, a PDF out there called this right here. It has a long old title, but in this book, you have this excerpt. If you go to page 205 of this book, is going to detail what this white man seen when he would just buy the tribal chief, which the Europeans named Powhatan. So going back to the book I'm reading from, just to cut out from what I just showed you, all right? So just to read that part, then Powhatan, more like a devil than a man, with about 200 more as black as himself, came on to him. Now, I'm not sure if you caught it, but the importance of why I was explaining the Powhatan connection is because how is there a tribe in Virginia that these Europeans are describing as Powhatan, but that word comes from the She Amaru, right, the Olmec Maya, and that was one of their gods that represents writing. Let's keep on going. Powhatan meant the 4 ages, and these symbolize both the 4 major seasons and the 4 ages before the 5th age. 4 ages of 91 days totaling 364 days with the end of the year Powhatan celebration. These 4 periods of 91-day periods complete the 4 seasons. They are composed of 7 periods of 13 days and vice versa, 13 periods of 7 days, which we now call a week. Powhatan was the ancestral figure of writing in time because it is he that brought the divination system, the writing, as expressed via the calendar. Our calendar is actually the most ancient form of prophecy and divination. We call it tarot cards today. There were originally 52 images instead of 78. Throughout the recording of this early history in America, our identity stayed intact. If you look on my page and you go deep and you see all those cards and stuff like that, that's what this is. So I'm true to this. So I'm going to end right here. There is plenty more things that indicate our phenotypes, our culture, the things that we do today. It's stuff we were doing back then. So I'll have a part 2 about identifying the phenotypes and culture of the true indigenous people of the Americas.